Hey everyone, welcome back to the battlefields of Ukraine. But before we get started, if you like military strategy, tactics, and doctrine and seeing it applied to strategy games, this is definitely the channel for you. And this is by far one of the largest invasions we have ever conducted. We find ourselves on the Eastern Front with T-34s, almost 30 tanks, and upwards of 500 infantry. We have a massive, absolutely massive artillery barrage coming in. Our forces are in full assault mode, and they are going to feel the strength of the Soviets, and they will feel our power. We're dropping close to 500, 600, 700 rounds of artillery. As you can see, our smokes begin to drop, and our heavy artillery barrage continues to land on the Germans as they retreat from our assault. So, if you like this type of content, make sure you leave a like, comment, and subscribe. Check out the Patreon. There's always a new after action report on there. And let's dive into this battle. Today we are conducting one of the hardest tactics that any commander will ever attempt to do. It's called a tactical encirclement, where you're attempting to surround all the Germans that are currently in this field. We're going with an overwhelming firepower tactic. As you can see, we have a massive smoke barrage that just came down. We have both, I believe, 72 and 120 millimeter rockets and artillery shells falling onto these Germans who are currently in these defensive positions. We also have heavy machine guns supporting our infantry troops. Our T-34s are moving up. They're moving in front of our infantry, so our infantry are supported by both armor and cover. And the smoke is, we're going to turn these Germans essentially into what's known as mincemeat. We're going with a complete shock and awe tactic. We do not want any resistance because we need to continue this assault without losing a lot of vital resources, because this is the first turn of 12 turns. So unfortunately, we need to monitor our resources and conduct ourselves in mostly a professional and tactical manner, using all the strategies we can at our disposal to ensure that we do not waste our troops' lives. Although quantity does have its qualities, and we have a massive, absolutely massive force and an absolutely massive reserve force. So the Germans really need to respond with strength. And unfortunately, it does not look like that's what's about to happen. As you can see, our first barrage went off almost without any difficulty. Our smoke screens are still up, and our infantry are still assaulting across the field. Our tanks begin to engage the Germans. I'd imagine that our second set, our next volley of tanks are coming in. Artillery shells. So, let's continue to do this. We have three forces. You can see that tree line over there on the right. We have a massive Soviet force conducting operations over further down there. It doesn't look like they're meeting much resistance. Oh, there they are. That's our right flank. We're conducting a pincer maneuver. So these units over here are attempting to encircle the Germans that are in this field as they move up to this trench line. Over here, we dropped another, oh no, tank down, my bro. Is that a flamethrower? The Germans are flamethrowing our T-34s. That is absolutely insane. Did we eliminate this unit? No, he is still there, and our T-34 decided it was, oh my god. Is it going to work? It is probably hot in that T-34. Oh my god. Run him over. What an absolute massacre that was. It is one. They are roasting him. Our tanks are choosing to drive into the trenches, and hopefully they do not get stuck. It looks like we are continuing this assault quite well. Unfortunately, there is a German, and these units, if we follow up with this tank over here, it did get destroyed, so we did lose one T-34, but as you saw, that German unit was very smart with that flamethrower. It looks like we have some German technicals right here, mostly abandoned, possibly destroyed by the artillery barrage, and there's our second wave. We continue to suppress the enemy. As we push forward, we want to push the Germans from the front lines and into the artillery barrages. So we need to maintain our momentum, because if we do not, the Germans are going to overwhelm us. So that's something we need to be aware of and cognizant of, that if we do not maintain this momentum, the Germans are going to engage us on this front line, and they will not feel the strength of the Soviet army. As you can see, there's an enemy unit attempting to retreat. I don't foresee him living very long. This tank looks to be engaging them. They are falling back. The Germans are in full retreat. Looks like this unit just got grenaded. Possibly bounced off the hull. Absolutely did. That is a nightmare. Our infantry need to continue to push up, and we need to ensure that the Germans do not have a chance to fire their indirect or artillery fire onto our infantry units. As you can see, the Germans are in full retreat. Right there, they're laying out in the open, and they're attempting to preserve any of the units they have. There's also an enemy vehicle off in the distance. I imagine this front is going quite well in our assault. As you can see, there's smoke absolutely everywhere, obscuring the enemy vision. Oh my goodness. We just wandered into our next artillery barrage. We continue to suppress the enemy as we attempt to locate our next massive army. Oh wow, this army made massive, absolutely massive gains. Look, our T-34s are way up in their artillery barrages, so they are meeting next to no resistance down here. That's fantastic. It looks like they identified a few Germans in the distance, which is good to know. So these T-34s are probably need to slow their assault. Their artillery barrage is going to continue to push back, but there was next to no resistance in this area. So we need to come back up here and monitor this main front. It seems like the Germans were expecting an assault in this area, and we had a fantastic, absolutely fantastic artillery barrages. Oh wow, they even dug in their infantry vehicles, the transports. That tank is engaging something in the distance. They continue to push to that tree line through all of the German tanks. So this is a fantastic encirclement. What we did is we probed their left flank, their right flank, and their front flank, and we just overwhelmed them. So it looks like they were really only prepared for a frontal assault on one flank. But realistically, we do have an engagement over here that we need to check out. We did lose a vehicle. What is this? This looks to be a German. Easy elimination right there. Right? Perfect trench line. Outstanding. These units are doing quite well. They're all in defensive positions, and we should have tanks. Yep, we do have our tanks, which are currently engaging units off in the distance. Quite easy. It looks like these units are getting encircled, and what's going to happen, what I would have preferred to have done, is conduct a fantastic encirclement and then crushed all of these enemies with a combined arms assault, like artillery, more indirect fire, also known as artillery, tank fire, which is currently happening, and heavy machine gun fire. So honestly, this is quite a good encirclement going on right here, because all these forces are either going to be captured or destroyed, which is what we want. We don't want the Germans to continue to have forces to reinforce themselves. We don't want them to be able to fall back, because if these units can fall back, they can reinforce their opponents, their reinforcements on the back line, which are currently being hammered by artillery. As you can see, there's artillery in the distance that are hammering those Germans that are on that back line. So those Germans cannot come up and reinforce their friends that are currently being eliminated by our T-34s that are currently laying waste to all of these German units that are just stuck out in the open. If we had mortars on standby that we didn't have to pre-range, we could move them up and just pretty much turn this little area into just absolute disgusting, a wasteland, just mortars, World War I looking area. Ooh, and there was a perfect mortar right on those Germans, or was that a T-34? So these units are pretty much, as you can see, we can take a look at that, destroyed. Our first couple artilleries were perfect. There is a small trench line of Soviets, our Germans attempting to fight. I don't really think they're going to have it, especially with those tanks. They're going to continue to hammer onto this position. It's going to allow our infantry to move up, which is basically going to further eliminate the Germans. Over here, there is not much change. Our tanks, we did unfortunately lose one tank, as you saw earlier. It looks like this vehicle has been abandoned. But we continue to move up. We do have infantry coming up, as you can see. These units are still trading blow for blow. It looks like they're engaging still the Germans a bit further out, which is, ooh, what was that? Oh no. Oh, that tank was already, I guess that was a cook-off. So it finally finally got destroyed. Absolute massacre. Alright, it looks like some of our Soviet forces have identified some Germans deeper in the trench line. That's fantastic. Are these ours? These look to be German tanks. Oh, no, these got to be ours, because he's firing towards the back. So it looks like we have 3 tanks up here. They're all trying to finish off that German little platoon over there, because our tanks over here would be engaging them. He's also engaging what looks to be a German force in this area. I don't see anything. Maybe he just ranged it really badly. So our T-34s continue to do waste everyone. Let's see if we forced a surrender yet. Yep, we're going to accept that ceasefire. Absolutely. That's fantastic. We probably missed that a while ago. We're going to let that play out. 2 more minutes of pure conflict. We're going to watch this. We should have some more mortars falling. I don't think we've dropped 500. We have some yellow, red smoke. Units are identifying. Quite a good encirclement. I don't think we lost really too many forces. As you can see, look, we have this massive infantry platoon squads slowly moving up. Plenty of cover in this area. Trench lines. They're going to follow this trench line all the way up, pretty much all the way into the German base to eliminate what looks to be a 30 mil cannon on this recon unit, which is no longer combat effective, which is fantastic for us. So this is all we're doing, is just picking up everyone, laying waste, picking up the corpses. We do have looks to be an explosion, but I believe this was the German technical little recon unit. Our infantry have finally crossed this border right here. They continue to assault. As you can see, they're on the ground pushing forward. Absolutely perfect. They're using this hill for cover. Prone, smoke up. The only thing that's left is a small little German fight right here, which is slowly being eliminated. We're just grinding across this wasteland. Let's get a top-down view of this absolute smoke in the distance. That's going to be eliminated. That's just a small little force of Germans. Here's 3 T-34s we could move up. Here's our massive, looks to be our right flank, moving up. Not much to be concerned about. Here was the main German resistance. As you saw, there was a flamethrower unit, which did cause significant casualties. I wonder if this was a smart move, pushing so many infantry down this road, but we did suppress a lot of their indirect and artillery fire. It looks like it's coming online, because that is a rather close mortars. So we really need to get this left flank down here, pushing up and eliminating anything that's in that distance. As you can see, it looks like our tanks are attempting to hammer them from far away. We can see that from the overview, just slowly grinding these units down. Not much resistance anymore. These tanks could ideally quite easily... Ooh, it looks like a smoke. Yep, we can start to hear the mortars coming in. That means our assaults kind of slowed down, bogged down a bit, and it's allowed them to set up, which ideally we don't want in an encirclement. These units are pretty much done. They're going to be hammered. See, here comes some tank fire. Outstanding, absolutely outstanding assault. We just gained so much territory in this battle. I don't even think, let's see, we're going to see how many resources we lost here in 9 seconds. Looks like we only lost 1 tank. And here it is. All right, we lost our force weighted 11% compared to a 91% on defense and on attack. Oh, that's unfortunate for them. We did deploy 31 platoons, so we did have a 50% bigger. So 2 to 1 is a perfect ratio for us. Let's scroll down a little bit. Casualty 71. Ooh, that's not good compared to their 169. I don't like that many casualties. This is a long war. We can't be bleeding out like that. Killed 16, 46, heavily wounded, obviously, unfortunate. Operational, we lost 1 vehicle. Wow. That is amazing. Only 1 tank. And if we would have, that's really good compared to how much fire, flamethrower, dude, 30 mil cannon, like lots of anti-tank on that German side. Ooh, that's perfect. All right, peace out, guys.